Hey, so about a week or two ago, DLC for The Evil Within came out, and it was called The Assignment and the Consequence. It's like story DLC missions, and it is really bad. Now, I have some mixed thoughts about story DLC. I think just like games, it can be good or bad, but it's unrelated to how good the base game was. Arkham City, fantastic game. Harley Quinn's Revenge, terrible DLC. Skyrim, fantastic game. Skyrim DLC, fantastic. Last of Us, amazing game. DLC, boring. BioShock Infinite, fantastic game. BioShock Infinite DLC, just as good as the base game. When you get to episode 2, episode 1's a little rocky. I'm gonna try to be fair to this DLC, but there really is nothing here. Spoilers for the Evil Within base game, but not for the story packs. So the DLC takes place during the same time as the base game does, except you're seeing it through the eyes of Julie Kidman instead of Sebastian Castellanos. Kidman is an agent for the secret organization that made the STEM program that everybody's in. She was undercover in the police force. So her mission is to go in, get Leslie, and then get out, because Leslie is the only one who can operate the STEM thing without the other guy. But unfortunately, if you get Leslie out, Ruvik comes out with him. And Ruvik is the bad, evil guy, who is still the best part of the game. Ruvik's voice is awesome. I think he's a great villain. Since this takes place during the same time as the base game does, you end up, like, crossing paths with Joseph and Sebastian like a couple times. But you also end up trotting the same ground that you've already tread in the first game. There is no new fresh environment in this at all. It's like the same lab area, or this like underground sewer place, or outside by the graveyard. I'm just like, I am bored, I want to leave. Can we go somewhere new, please? Now, unfortunately, Kidman is not a very interesting character, and this arc does not add much. The point he's trying to get across is like Julie was undercover, and she's wants Leslie for different reasons than Castellanos does. And you already knew that from the end of the first game. The story is not good. It does not add anything new. Nothing interesting happens. Whoops, forgot to fix my hair. So you're like, alright, maybe the story sucks. At least they get some more of the fun Evil Within gameplay. Nope. 98% of the combat is stealth. And you're like, fantastic. I don't like stealth gameplay. I think it's boring, I think it's easy to craft, and I think it's lazy. I can handle it in moderation. Even if you like stealth games, this is not a good stealth game. It is the most bare-bone, basic stealth elements you'll find. It's like, oh, hide behind something, wait for the guy to pass, and then walk past him. Or you can get up behind him and execution kill him. Such a huge step back from the game. Evil Within had solid third-person shooter combat. Why did you take that away for horrible stealth mechanics? When you do get a gun, you're like, alright, finally, now we can maybe switch back to the basic gameplay, but in 5 minutes, it takes the gun away from you. You see it like, Kidman like drop it and fall off a cliff, and Kidman goes like, oh no, and you're like, are you kidding me? I wanted to turn it off right there. Kidman cannot fight the guys without a gun. She can't. I don't know why. She's a police officer and a secret agent, and she can't fight zombies, especially when there are axes lying around, but you can only use them when she gets behind somebody, and then the axe is lost forever. At least in Last of Us, you smashing it into a guy so hard you presume it broke did. The fact that you can only carry one axe or bottle at a time, and those are the only two stealth options you have. It was also constantly glitching out. Like, I'm right up behind somebody, and I'm not getting the prompt to hit him in the face with an axe. I also had trouble freaking getting out of cover. This game was absurdly difficult in places, and I felt like I was fighting the controls and not the enemies. But it's also really unbalanced, because there are areas that are clearly set up to be like a stealth section that you could just run through. The game design just purposefully cripples Kidman to make the stealth harder. Like, look, she can run 10 feet before getting winded. Not before having to stop to walk. Before having to stop and, like, put her hands on her knees, and you cannot move for a solid 5 seconds afterwards. It's just so immersion breaking. Every time you have to interact with an enemy, whether you're killing them or pushing off a ledge or something, it goes into a QTE, and then it flips back to your character. It really slows down the gameplay. I'm like, can I just push him and move? There's no upgrade system. There's no green goo. For the brief moments that you do have a gun, there's like an ammo box nearby that like unlimitedly replenishes your ammo, but you can only hold like 10 bullets. So like, just let me hold more ammo. But it's like, nope, you're not gonna need those because we're about to take the gun away from you again. I played this on PS4, and like I said, even with them looks decent on 360, it does look nicer on PS4, obviously. But I still found pop-in during the cutscenes. And Kidman herself, when you're like up close to the cutscenes, she looks pretty good. She's not that attractive of a character. She's not that strong of an independent female heroine either. Enemy variety in the game too is it's the same enemy for the entire game. It's that same zombie-like creature guy with the occasional beacon head thing. That was the only new enemy in this game. So to be fair, I'm gonna try to find some positives now. Checkpoints were pretty frequent, so I didn't have to do a long stretch of the game every time I died, and it was like, oh my god. At least the suffering was short-lived. If you remember in the base game when she locks up Sebastian and you think it's because Sebastian was turning into a zombie and attacking her, she's like, I gotta keep myself safe. That's actually not why she locks him up. So that's like an opposite nitpick. That's like trying real hard to find something to like. I can go on and on and on about all these other things that I didn't like about this, but at the end of the day, it is not fun to play. I was rarely enjoying myself. This isn't the kind of game where I'm staying up late because I want to play. This is the game I'm trying to get through as quickly as possible so I can move on to something else. But at the end of the day, if your game is not fun, you have failed as a developer. You have especially failed really hard when your base game is fun and your DLC is not. If it was more Evil Within with different environments and a lackluster but new story, I'd be like, yeah, alright, it's alright. This is not alright. Guys, I gotta say, the Evil Within DLC, the assignment, and the consequence are terrible. But of course, as always, my opinion is not the But of course, my opinion, as always, is not the only one out there. I'd like to know what you think. Stay alive, stay happy. I shall return.